It's now time for Acoustics in the Room, and we now have Brad Myers. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure, mate.
So for those who are unfamiliar, can you tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Okay, so I'm a solo performer performing at venues around Sydney. I've been performing for 20 years now. More recently, I've been doing the acoustic stuff. I've been in bands before that, and I write my own stuff as well. And but for the most part, these days I'm doing covers live. But yeah.
And was there a particular moment when you realised you wanted to be a musician growing up?
As early as 5. My parents both loved music. They weren't musicians themselves, but I'd get on my grandmother's piano and just start playing tunes by ear. So my parents sort of said, we're going to get you some piano lessons. So I started that from 5 years old, and have been doing playing music ever since in some way, shape or form. Yeah, but singing didn't come till later. But yeah.
And what about who's inspired you musically? Different artists?
Lots of different artists, but I suppose my favourite singer is John Farnham. Yeah. And I remember when Whispering Jack came out. That was, and You're the Voice. That was a big moment for me in terms of how I looked at music and what I wanted to do with it, sort of thing. So I really started wanting to be a singer more than playing instruments and stuff like that at that particular point in time. And it wasn't, within the next few years I joined a band and was a singer of a band, sort of thing. Yeah. So
yeah, we have brought your guitar. I'd love to hear a live track. What do you want to play for us?
Today, I don't know if you hear, I'm a little bit croaky today. I'm going to do something that I wouldn't be able to do a fancy one today, but I've got Crowded House, one of my favourite bands, and this is one of my favourite songs of theirs called Fall at Your Feet.
Take it away when you're ready. Here is Brad Myers.
I'm really close tonight, and I feel like I'm moving inside her. Lying in the dark, and I think that I'm beginning to know her. Let it go. I'll be waiting when you call, and whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears rain down on me. Whenever I touch your slow turning pain, you're hiding from me now. There's something in the way that you're talking. Words don't sound right. I hear them all moving inside you. I'll be there when you call. Whenever I fall at your feet, you let your tears, let them rain down on me. Whenever I touch your slow turning pain, finger of blame has turned upon itself, and I'm more than willing to offer myself. Do you want my presence on me? My
Brad Myers there on 100.3. That was a great version.
Thank you.
Voice was fine.
Oh, appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
And what do you enjoy most about performing in front of a crowd when you do?
I really enjoy, the larrikins in the crowd that like to sort of get up and do crazy stuff and get the party going. You know what I mean? Like, because they really make a good night of it when that happens. I just like, when people are enjoying themselves. That's, there's nothing worse than playing to an empty room is hard work, but playing to a room of people who would prefer you not to be there, which does happen occasionally if they're kind of more into their conversations or whatever, that can be a bit hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when you get a good night, that's that's the fun stuff. Yeah.
And when you write music, where do you take your inspiration from?
Usually, a lot of the stuff I write is quite personal. So, situations that have sort of happened in my life are usually where I draw my inspiration from, things that have moved me deeply, sort of thing. I find the best songs I've written are ones where I get quite emotional, sort of thing, because it really comes through in the song, and the lyrics.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And does your writing process change, or is it the same?
It can. It isn't necessarily always the same. Sometimes I'll start with some chords, and then I'll let it stew for a while, and then get a melody out of that. Sometimes I'll have a clear idea of how I want to sing it, and then I'll find the chords to match that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Usually I write on guitar. Sometimes I write on piano. But yeah, it's usually guitar because it's just a much more convenient instrument to pick up and sort of carry around with you. And if you're around the house, or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've just started learning guitar.
Oh, right.
In the last week, so.
Okay. Oh, good on you, mate.
A lot of practice.
But you'll get to a point with it where it'll be hard work, and then something will click. And then it'll just get a little bit easier. So just persist.
Yeah.
Is my advice, if I can give any. But yeah.
And do you have any plans on releasing some music in the future?
Yeah. I mean, as you're aware, I've got a YouTube channel that I sort of record stuff and release on that periodically. And I've done one little EP. I've sort of got a little studio set up where I record my own stuff. So I'm hoping to get some tracks sort of onto iTunes or Spotify or something like that soon. Yeah, but it's just a matter of finding the time to get it all organised in between gigs and work and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
yeah, and a lot of work involved too, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The recording process is a lengthy one. You got to get all the parts that you want in the song just right, and then you've got to mix it all together, and then you've got to, it can take months for that process to sort of to finish up, sort of thing. So yeah.
And do you have any gigs that are coming up that people can see you play?
Yeah, let me just trying to think. Next week I've got one on Friday. My goodness, I should have had this ready. So I'm playing at the General Gordon during the day on Good Friday, sort of lunchtime gig. That's my next one. And then I've got a private function the following weekend. But then 13th of April, I'm at the Rag and Famish in North Sydney. And that's an early one. I think I'm there from 5 till 8.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'll do that. I play that one quite regularly, and that's a good gig. And then, so that's the stuff coming up so far. So yeah.
And what's the best way for people if they want to find more information about you and your gigs and check your videos out?
Okay, so just look up Brad Myers on YouTube. There's a few different Brad Myers, but yeah, and then also on Facebook, Brad Myers Music. And you'll be able to find my YouTube channel through there as well. If you, so yeah, by all means, get onto Facebook and check me out there.
And I'll put a link on my Facebook page as well.
Fantastic.
Let everyone know, make sure they go to a Brad Myers gig.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
Thanks so much for coming in.
My pleasure, mate.
It's been great having you in. And we're going to finish with a track from your EP, Heard You're Leaving. Do you want to tell us about this track?
Sure. This is an interesting one, actually. It was actually a goodbye present for a friend I worked with. It's 10 years old now, the song, but it was a bit of an interesting, unusual thing to do, but the song was amazing. Like, it turned out better than I'd ever expected a song to turn. It wasn't, it took me half an hour to write it, sort of thing, and it was just this silly idea I had, and when I was finished with it, I'm like, what have I done? This is the best thing I'd ever done. I don't, how it compares to what other people's stuff is up to other people to decide, but I really like it. It's one of my favourite originals of mine, so, yeah.
Well, here is Heard You're Leaving, and thanks, Brad Myers, for coming in.
My pleasure, thank you.
Make sure everyone listening go out to a Brad Myers gig and check him out on Facebook. Thanks again.
Thanks, mate.
A word from the wise. Life's an adventure. You've gotta take hold of it with both hands, 'cause there's a fire burning in you to reach for your goals. To let it fade would be the greatest crime. Heard you leaving. It's been a great ride. Thanks for sharing a moment in time. You left an imprint on our hearts that won't ever fade. And don't you know we'll never be the same? Doesn't seem long ago that we first met you, and no surprises when you were just passing through. But what an inspiration to see such desire. You spur us on with passion in your eyes. Heard you leaving. It's been a great ride. Thanks for sharing a moment in time. Left an imprint on our hearts that won't ever fade. And don't you know we'll never be the same? Don't be disheartened by the sadness in our lives. It won't be there for long, just a snapshot of life. One of God's miracles when souls are entwined. A little piece is always left behind. Heard you leaving. It's been a great ride. Thanks for sharing a moment in time. Left an imprint on our hearts that won't ever fade. But don't you know we'll never be the same? Yeah!
Hi, it's Karen Page here, and you're tuned to Greg Bryant supporting Aussie music on 100.3 FM.